Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Céad míle fáilte díobh go leor. 100,000 welcomes. Salamat datang. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to our gathering this evening, the 2013 St. Patrick's Ball, our 88th annual celebration of St. Patrick's Day in Malaysia. My name is Fiona Rice, Vice President of the Society and your Master of Ceremonies this evening. La Féil Pádraig Seán Adív, a very happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, the feast of our patron saint and Ireland's national day, when Irish people across the world celebrate what it means to be Irish. We celebrate the particular our culture, so varied, rich, and old, and we also revel in what it means to be Irish in this millennium. St. Patrick's Society of Selangor is proud of this opportunity to share our celebration tonight with many friends from all over the world here in Malaysia. Very soon, Orna English, President of St. Patrick's Society of Selangor, and our guests of honour for this evening will join us. Meanwhile, I have a few announcements to make. We are delighted to announce that His Excellency Declan Kelly, Ambassador of Ireland to Malaysia, and his wife Anne will be attending this evening. On your table, you will find a bowl programme for each guest. Your programme contains all the important information for tonight's function, including the menu, our entertainment details, and a list of our valued sponsors. Later in the evening, we will be holding a grand prize draw, and we would encourage all who have gone to the foyer to return to the ballroom during the draw. The number will not be called out in the foyer, and you just may lose out on the opportunity to win a prize. If you wish to have a portrait photo taken as a memory of this evening, our official photographer is located in the foyer. Portraits will be taken up until 12:30 a.m. and will be available for collection between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. If you fail to collect your portraits tonight, they will be available for collection from the shop directly. In addition, official photographs taken this evening will be available to view and purchase at the store. Further details will be available on our Facebook page. For those of you that have driven and parked here at the Hilton tonight, a flat rate of 8 ringgit is available for the car park. Please pick up a voucher at the business centre to secure this special rate. If you have a valet parked, it is still worth collecting this ticket, as the hourly parking rate is charged in addition to the valet fee. For those of you still here in the morning, breakfast will be served starting at 8:30 a.m. in the lobby level. Please note, charges for breakfast will be at your own expense. For those rugby fans amongst you, we're delighted to confirm that we will view the Italy-Ireland game in the second ballroom, but it will start after the formalities have finished. There is a bar available in the ballroom, so you won't miss 1 minute or 1 second of the game. Please take note that there will be no smoking in either the main or the second ballroom this evening. Smoking is limited to the foyer area outside the second ballroom where the rugby will be shown. Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask that you take care of your valuables this evening, especially as you move between areas. One final point. Tonight is a celebration, and we acknowledge that we are all here to enjoy ourselves. But there are some formalities and traditions that are crucial to making the event what it has become. With this in mind, I respectfully request that you all maintain a courteous silence during the speeches this evening. I thank you all for your kind attention and wish you all a wonderful evening.
Saturday night I sell second-hand clothes from me stall on the floor of the street. Now I have a son Mick and he plays on the fife. He belongs to the Longford Street Band.
Ladies and gentlemen, a respectful silence, please. Would you please be upstanding and welcome our distinguished guests of honour. The President of the St. Patrick's Society, Mr. Orland English and her husband John. The Ambassador of Ireland, His Excellency Declan Kelly and his wife Anne. The Acting Head of the British High Commission, His Excellency Ray Piles and his wife Kate. Reverend Sister Datin Duka, Sister Ryan, the Chieftain of the Lambeth Society of Selangor, Mr. Chuck Jeffrey and his wife Ivanka, the President of St. George's Society, Mr. Andrew Robinson and his wife Fatima, the President of St. David's Society, Mrs. Natalie Sweeney and her husband Philip, the Chairperson of the Association of British Women in Malaysia, Mrs. Sally Addington and her husband Bill.
Not so loud. We're outnumbered.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Reverend Sister, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take a moment to share some greetings from our extended community overseas. Sorry, I think you can all sit down. Especially the women in the high heels. Ladies and gentlemen, a greeting from a past president, Mr. Donald Crilly, who was president of the Society in 1981. To the Honourable President, Their Excellencies, the patrons, the committee, past presidents, Reverend Sister Enda, and all members and guests of the St. Patrick's Society of Selangor, my congratulations and best wishes for a successful celebration of the Feast of St. Patrick. I wish I could be with you. Another message from Hilary Murphy, past president in 2008, and her husband Kieran, who was a past treasurer. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We wish you a fantastic evening at the ball. We'll be thinking of you and wishing we were there with you to raise a glass to the Isle Salt. Ladies and gentlemen, it is tradition that the last year's Society President presents the symbol of office to the President now in office. I therefore invite Deirdre Grimshaw to present our symbol of office, the shillelagh, to Orna English. A moment of silence, please, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, Reverend Sister, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure that I call on our Society President, Orna English, to address our gathering this evening.
Gwynne Ushla, Your Excellencies, Sister Enda, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members and friends. Our ball has, over 88 years, become a highlight of the KL social calendar, a ritual celebrating Ireland's National Day. Some of you are here for the first time, and I know some of you will have attended many of the preceding 87 balls. This year, I would like to take our local celebration just one little step further, connecting back to Ireland by directly linking to the Gathering Ireland 2013, a year-long event launched by our Irish Taoiseach, the Taoiseach, the Minister for Tourism in May 2012, and also supported by Bord Fáilte Ireland and Tourism Ireland. To quote the Gathering website, the Gathering Ireland 2013 is a spectacular year-long celebration of all things Irish. There are clan gatherings, festivals, special sporting events, music and concerts taking place all across the country all year long. Over 70 million people worldwide claim Irish ancestry. The Gathering Ireland 2013 provides the perfect excuse to reach out to those who have moved away, their relatives, friends and descendants, and invite them home. It didn't seem feasible for the committee to fully embrace the whole concept. We weren't convinced we could get you all to make the trip to Ireland for the night, but we are determined to embrace the philosophy and have a gathering this evening that honours the best of being Irish, and importantly for us here, the privilege of being Irish abroad. There are all sorts of gatherings and events happening at home, but after browsing the official website, one of my favourite gatherings is in my home village of Crosshaven, County Cork this summer. It's the Irish Redhead Convention. To quote, there are lots of activities, including freckle counting competitions, a redhead parade, a ginger chef cook-off, redhead photo shoots, certificates for all genuine gingers, and fire eating. It seems redheads are in the minority and make only up 2% of the world's population. And it seems that despite years of recession in Ireland, we haven't lost our sense of humour. In Ireland this year, the focus is on community and bringing people home. But here, as expats, we are always aware how important it is to celebrate and share our roots, our values, and our traditions. Here in KL, our society provides gatherings throughout each year that bring the extended Irish community together. We come together to socialise, to welcome new members, to uphold traditions and customs, and also to raise money for worthy charities. None of this would continue without the support of our members, and equally importantly, our friends that support our events. And this year, as in other years, I know that we have many visitors that have flown into KL just for tonight. In recognition of this, I would now like to ask the members of St. Patrick's Society of Selangor to stand and raise a glass to our guests. To our guests, thank you for coming. As important as the Gathering Ireland is to our theme tonight, over the months of planning, the theme has gone beyond just this for me. I have spent many hours thinking about how our lives are often defined by the significant and sometimes seemingly insignificant gatherings in our lives. Although surrounded by friends tonight, I am very lucky to have the three most important people in my life to share this evening with me. Three people who are always there to support me. These are the people in my life that have played significant roles in the most important gatherings and occasions in my life. Growing up in Ireland, christenings, Christmas, communion, confirmation, school plays and festas and birthday parties, all were important, all were shared with community, family and friends, and all are remembered fondly. Unlike most of my friends then, my dad worked offshore and had to miss many of these events. This was before email, internet and Skype. We had no way to share these celebrations with him. I can tell you now that my mum was amazing at never making me feel the gap that he left on those days. So Dad, never think I felt hard done by. You more than made up for it in other ways. And now I can say I know it probably hurt you more than it hurt me. My husband now works away from home during the week and we encounter some of the same issues. But in the modern world, it is so much easier to share special events with him and our extended family. It was my university graduation. Again, my dad had to be away. At the time, for various reasons, it just wasn't important to me. I chose not to go and celebrate with my classmates. Over time, I have come to realize that that day was not all about me. That day was also for my parents, to acknowledge the work and the sacrifices that they made to get me there. It is a regret that I didn't give my mum that moment. I wish now that we had shared that day as a joint celebration. I met my husband John at a social gathering, Friday night drinks in the pub to say goodbye to a work colleague. He turned up at our closed shop party to meet one of his best mates, who was one of my co-workers. I was indignant, to say the least, that an outsider should crash the party. Obviously I got over it, as 8 months later we decided to get married. But John reckoned he couldn't go home and tell his mother just yet, so he did the decent thing and waited for 5 whole months before we told everyone. But it was an easy secret to keep, because back in Achill, it was a no-brainer when something like this should be announced to the family. In Achill Island, County Mayo, there is one day that brings the island together like no other. A true gathering in every sense, and that is St. Patrick's Day. This is a day still steeped in old traditions. It still starts as it did over 100 years ago at exactly 6 a.m. with the beating of a bass drum to wake the island. Happy St. Patrick's Day in the morning is the ritual greeting to everyone you meet. All the pipe bands play outside the churches before Mass, then march down the island, culminating in a Mass band at Church. After Mass and following the bands, we all take to the pub and the next pub and the next pub after that too for the rest of the day. With our surprise announcement, we raised many an eyebrow that day, and of course many a glass, but it did make for a real celebration Achill style. It set us up nicely for the day after, another official event in the Achill calendar. More music, more drink and more crack. Though we won't make it back in time this year, St. Patrick's Day Pipe Band Festival is on the official Gathering Ireland calendar and all are invited. Then there was our wedding, and I broke with old tradition and got married in Mayo, not Cork, where I'm from. Mayo weddings are enormous, not quite as big as some of the Chinese weddings we have here, but not far off it. So I decided it was too daunting to mobilise that many islanders. Ours was relatively small at 240 guests, but it included people gathered from far and wide, literally fighting hurricanes to get there from all corners of the globe. After all the planning, the day was perfect. From being applauded as I came down the stairs of my hotel to the gathering of the old folks home from Dublin that were on a Christmas line dancing theme weekend, to finding out at 4 a.m. after I was married in the reception lounge that our initial introduction was actually a premeditated blind date that nobody bothered to tell me about. Despite it being a December wedding, the sun shone-ish, we had our photographs outside, but for me, the highlight of the day was John, his brother and sisters and cousins, took the instruments from the pipe band at the reception, took the floor and played for us all. It was an unrehearsed family reunion that has never been done before and has not been repeated since. The wedding day was only topped by the day after. We told people what pub we'd be in. Guests from near and far started to arrive in dribs and drabs, and by midnight the pub was humming. We have friends and families who are accustomed musicians, so the crack never stopped. By coincidence, the Trad Music Society from a Dublin university were on a weekend away and were settled in the pub and joined us and performed to the wee small hours. We showed our friends from abroad the true meaning of Irish hospitality and crack that night. We also quadrupled Mikey Guilty's bar takings for the whole month. Then we had kids. My social life ground to a halt for a few years, but it did revive a little once we got to KL in 2006. But ever before I joined this committee, this ball was the highlight of my year. With a young family, my social life was at best restricted. Nothing could be planned in advance or someone would throw up or run a fever. But this was the day of the year when I wasn't mum. After lunch, it was hair, nails, home, get dressed, don't touch mummy with those sticky hands. Yes, of course I still love you. Out the door, though it's only 6:15. At the ball to law ball, into bed, out again half an hour later to be mum again, but it was always worth it. I have no doubt there are a few of you out there this evening in similar positions. You will survive tomorrow, I promise. Our kids are a little older now. A couple were here tonight helping to distribute the shamrocks, and it continues to be my special night, and I hope that continues. Now I'm back at the beginning of the cycle. I'm just in a different role. We now have 4 more significant people to define our gatherings. Once again, it's Christmas, First Communions, birthdays, school plays, school prizes, and sporting events. This time I am celebrating their achievements, and I am so proud of each and every one. And that's why I'm delighted that my parents are here with me this evening. I now get what it was like for you. I get why you did it all, and I hope you still feel just a little bit of that pride this evening. Thank you both for everything. Tonight is one of my defining moments. Tonight is one of the most significant gatherings in my life. My committee has shown me, by having faith in me and covering up my failings, that I can do it. These amazing people have given me a confidence in my ability and a strength that I had forgotten I possessed. You are all my friends, and I thank you one and all. I must also thank my friends outside the committee that have fully supported me in this role, taking my kids, ferrying them here and there when I needed to go somewhere. Friends that have supported us through thick and thin for the last couple of years. You know who you are. To my husband, thank you for believing me, to best my knowledge. But my committee, you have once again come together to achieve a night of celebration for the Irish in KL and our friends. All credit for tonight goes to you. I would now like to ask you to stand up where you are. Sorry, the committee. You can all sit down, just my committee, please. Can I please propose a toast to the St. Patrick's Society of Selangor Committee? On behalf of the people and President of Ireland, I invite and encourage you all to visit Ireland this year, to reconnect with family and friends, or to experience firsthand the hospitality and welcome that awaits you. Gurmail Amachka Valera.